Hey, folks, we got Raymond Lyons here. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. Welcome to Wizards Outlook. The road trip has come to an end. Washington's going to get a brief reprieve come Sunday. Then to come home, obviously come home tonight. Next game is a home game on Sunday. Then that's the first half of back-to-back. The second half of that back-to-back will be played Monday night. But, Ray, they close this road trip. It didn't end well, man. Atlanta 129 and 117. We're always talking about folks that kind of don't get enough love, or sometimes in this wonderful era of media that we're in, with like stories that should be written or people that should be discussed. Dyson Daniels, you think the Pelicans got like buyer's remorse or seller's remorse on that? Like
For
at
sure.
all? Because
you can't give up on a player that quick, man.
He was huge tonight, and he's been hooping all. He's been huge for the Hawks, like to the point where if this continues, like if you're the Hawks, you kind of look around like you just had the number 1 overall pick. Reese Shea is what he is. Dyson's kind of in that vein in terms of really big team. Like, are you going to do the thing? If you feel like you might have the thing in the building, because you thought maybe DeJounte was the thing in case.
Right.
Just, again, I know it's my bag, being in that bad news bears type, what can go wrong will go wrong type thing. That's it. Hawks beat the Wizards 129-117. But Ray, what do you see from Washington in this
one? Man, after that first quarter, it was nasty on both ends. And with the Wizards, if they're not defending, then their offense just is non-existent, because a lot of their offense is fed off when they're getting stops and they're able to get out and run. Then the basket gets a little bigger when they get some easy ones, and they got a little more bounce in their step. Their confidence is higher, so when they do get in those half court sets, they're just executing better. They have more energy. The ball's got more pop on it. It's moving. But yeah, outside of the first quarter, we didn't see any of that, and we didn't see them getting stops either. So it was just bad on both ends, pretty much. We always kind of talk about when the scouting report catches up. Just playing hard isn't enough anymore. Maybe we saw through maybe the first 4 or 5 games of the season, their energy and effort kept them in games. They started out with heavy hitters with Cleveland and Boston, and we see what those two teams are doing right now. And they were competitive against those two teams. Then they got 2 wins against Atlanta, and in a couple games following that, they were still scratching and clawing, but they were there at the end. We've seen lately, teams have just been able to run away from them kind of comfortably, and yeah, that's because their mistakes are glaring, and teams are picking up on them. One thing that teams know is 9 times out of 10, you're going to be able to get second chance points. So their big is just going to crash and live at the front of the rim for cleanup duty. And yeah, Capella and Kongu did that tonight, and that was a big part of Atlanta's game. They had 15 offensive rebounds. So yeah. Yeah, Wizards got to clean stuff up. They gotta be more efficient offensively. They had 106 field goal attempts. Yeah, you get that many shots up, you got to win the game, man. Like, that's a lot of shots, but 43 of them were threes, and not a lot of those were good threes. And we know how that goes. You say it all the time. A bad shot is the first pass of the opposing team's fast break, and we saw Atlanta get out and break a lot tonight, and they finished. So yeah, but Bilal, he's got to get back to. We saw a couple games earlier this year where he was starting to be more aggressive and looked like he was coming into himself. He's got to get back to that. I'm wondering maybe if Kuz's return has kind of gotten in his way a little bit, for lack of a better word. But I mean, they're not going to be successful if he's being passive and not getting involved. So they got to find a way to figure out a way to coexist, because minimizing Bilal is not the answer. They both should be able to function at a high level at the same time. They're going to have to, because they're going to share the court together a lot. So yeah, it's another tough one. They did what we didn't want them to do. They finished the road trip going over. They'll be back in familiar surroundings on Sunday, but yeah, and if they play this way, they'll probably drop that one too, because Detroit, they're they scrap as well, and they're another big team. So yeah, man, you're gonna have to play some sound basketball no matter who's on the opposite side of you. So yeah, they got to figure it out, man. They got to become a more cohesive unit out there, on both ends of the ball. So yeah, that was pretty much the tale of the tape tonight, man. After the first quarter ended, they forgot how to play offense, and again, they just weren't. They were the least physical team, and they didn't defend well.
Yeah, I think that everything you said, agree with wholeheartedly. I think who they are when Kuz is there and who they are when Kuz isn't is a discussion. It hasn't the sample size hasn't been huge, but it feels like people's roles shift a little bit. Feels like some of the youngsters are a little bit more aggressive when he's not there. Like they feel like I don't know what it is. I'm not getting into it. It just feels like one, it's clear that there's a difference. And then two, they got to figure it out with him being there. Like you said, man, 28 shots is wild. Um, like I get, one of the two main guys, what have you, but that's a little much for me. And then the other thing is they have to have they have to improve their discernment on that three ball. Like they really have to. Because as you mentioned, like it's costing them. Like those stretches of the game, like look at this game, right? You were talking about how many shots they got up, whatever. We know they're gonna play fast, so cool, no issue. I get that. Like that's death taxes and they plan to push the pace. Cool. Um 43 threes, Atlanta took 37. All right. You were within three on the glass. Cool. But the difference, like what's if you took six more threes than Atlanta did, the quality of threes matters that much more if that's what you're gonna end up doing. And that's I think that's where they're suffering a little bit. Um, like for me personally, there's not even a handful of guys I'm comfortable with on this team taking taking 7+ threes a game. Like it's a short list for me. It's probably Jordan and Corey, and probably Keyshaw maybe, right? That's part of his thing. I have no issue like, but like those three, I'm cool if their numbers up there a little high in terms of attempts for three, I could find peace. I thought Sarr did a better job of not settling too much for the
Hmm.
three tonight. I feel like and look what it led him to. 20 points, 7 boards. I just think he was able to be a little bit more active just by being in the paint a little bit more. Um, I'm so excited to see how much more pressure he can put on the defense. I feel like he lets the defenses off the hook at times,
Absolutely.
because we see how difficult he is. Like he's shifty at that size with the ball in his hand. That's a lot to deal with. I know we see the transition here and there, but who's to say you can't attack from elbow down? Like, there's a whole different. There's a way to use what you have in a half court, and I'd love to see more of that. Again, I'm not going crazy about it. Like, what are we? 11 games into his rookie season. All right, cool. But I would like to see those numbers drop for him. Like, if it's a night like tonight where you're hitting them, cool. If you're not hitting them, I just don't want to see 7, 8, like 1 for 7. Like we get to 1 for 3, sir. I'm gonna need you to go touch paint. Now they talk about go touch grass, go touch paint. Like go touch paint for a while. And we've been talking about this with Kuz since he's been here. 11 attempts, dude. Like, and some of them literally led to runs. It's not to say only his shots led did it. But Jordan was 4 for 9. Corey 4 for 8. Keyshawn's 1 for 6. Again, those are the three I can live with taking a much of them. But like you said, man, they got to find a way to execute. And with Bilal kind of really being the third guy, they can't afford the quiet nights from him.
Mm-hmm.
While the kids are trying to get their legs together, they can't. Like, that's the reality, as you mentioned. It's for the Hawks. Shout out to Dyson Daniels and Jalen Johnson. They got some young pieces. Again, going back to the thing, in case they choose to do the thing. Like, Dyson, Jalen, and Ricochet isn't exactly horrible. I'm just gonna quote the thing. I'm leave that there.
So you just not gonna say it?
Now I'm
say
not,
it without saying it.
Hey man, we know what I'm talking about. Like, look what you got from the Kongu tonight. Like, like you got Trey and Capella there, and like you could not have them there, and like hey man, the thing, should they choose? I'm just saying, like, I feel a lot better even remotely entertaining it. Hey, Dyson looks solid, man. That's all I got.
Mm-hmm.
25 for 6 steals, 2 blocks. And again, like, Trey is amazing in his own right. That's great, but like, you just took somebody first overall because of what they do on the defensive end, primarily. Like, if that's where we going, like, just all the way in. Just that's just me. If they do the thing. Ray, you got anything else you want to jump in the player of the
game? we can move forward in the program, man.
Right. I'm sorry, Atlanta fans. Please leave me alone. I'm just, if it happens, just know I'm somewhere saying Ejectocito cut. Player of the game.
I would Dyson Daniels, man. He got straight to it and didn't let up for the entire game.
Yeah, he was. I think he missed one of their matchups. He was here for one, didn't play in the other. Definitely showed up tonight. Yeah, that second quarter. Yeah, Dyson Daniels, congratulations on starting the run that didn't end. Like 32-11 in the second quarter. That's how you respond from Washington scoring, winning 39-29 in the first. And from that point on, Atlanta never scored less than 30 in the quarter. Scored 29 in the first and went 30, 35, and 35. X Factor.
Whew. Crowded category tonight, man. I gotta go Jalen Johnson. Just for one, his disruption at the rim defensively. Big deterrent down there. And offensively, he was creating havoc as well, slashing and getting easy baskets, getting putbacks, just making athletic plays. He was all over the place.
The only reason I didn't go Jalen Johnson is because I think there's a positive thing. At least for me, this is how I'm going to spin it. I'm low-key starting to expect it like that's Jalen Johnson now, and I'm just going to just accept it. Onyeka Okongwu, like, I think this is the type of performance Atlanta would love to have from him on a regular basis, but 13-13, 2 steals, 2 blocks. And efficient. We'll overlook the threes. He took 2 of them. It is what it is. It's 2024's NBA bigs. Apparently they have to attempt for whatever reason. But yeah, I thought that was huge. And again, I can't argue with, what was it, 18-13, 7 and 4 blocks? Huge performances for see, I'm not gonna keep going because I'm gonna say the thing again, so I'm gonna let it go. But just good job by Jalen and Onyeka. Even got good performance with DeAndre Hunter too. Like, it was good to see him have a really good game as well. Got a comment tonight. Sup, I got a ton of patience for the youngest, but I got a one-way ticket for Cools. No, need to hear. Thank you for your service. Right, hey, man. Take that one, and I get there after you.
Look, and that's not an unreasonable take. Yeah, you're supposed to have patience for younger players. They're young. They need time to develop. As far as Kuz, yeah, dude. It's late. I don't feel like thinking right now, so I'm gonna put it bluntly. You kind of in the way right now. Just being honest. Like you said, 28 attempts. Like, come on, man. That's that's uh that's not conducive to winning. And you brought up a good point. When he wasn't there, things looked flowed a little bit better. Um, yeah, you can't you, you can't just come in and be a black hole like that. It's it's at the expense of others, and it's kind of messing up the groove that they were in. Like, they definitely depended on him and Poole to kind of lead the way, but yeah, these this type of inefficiency is it's counterproductive. You gotta find a way to get yours without interrupting what they were building while you were out. You coming back shouldn't put a screeching halt to things, and now you got to build over and build back up and start over from ground zero. You should be able to come in, insert yourself, still produce, and still allow other people to do what they were doing when you weren't here. If you come in playing well and they deferring, that's cool. I got no issue with that. One of the leaders of the team, that's actually how it's supposed to go. But if you being here negatively affects the other folks, then yeah, maybe some things got to move around. But yeah, I'm not mad at it. Hopefully Kuz finds his way and they can continue on the positive track they were on for the first few games of the season.
Yeah, it's I think it's one of those things where when you're one of the two guys on a young team like this, that responsibility is a fine line. And we've seen credit to Jordan Poole, like again, and continue to rave about his start to the year. I know tonight wasn't a night in which he shot the ball efficiently, but it felt like I don't think there's been a game this year, and please correct me if you feel differently, where it doesn't seem like he's trying to facilitate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Which I think goes a long way, in which, what this comment kind of leads to is like, whether you like it or not, you two, these youngsters going to be playing. Looks like quite a bit. Uh, y'all need each other. Everyone needs each other for y'all to try to get these done. Like get this done. But yeah, they just. Cause I know he's just coming back, but this is what it can't be. You know what I'm saying? If this is on the wrong side of the line, this is what it can't be. Like you said, if you're in the flow and you're feeling, obviously, man, you're what 20 or 28, whole different discussion. Like, let that thing go. I'm probably up here screaming like maybe they ain't why did they stop giving it to you?
Right, exactly.
But yeah, just y'all gotta figure this out. And like Ray said, the youngsters, they first go around, it's gonna be hard to blame them for unless they just, that bar is really low in terms of what they have to do for everyone to be like, what are you doing, kid? It's gonna be kind of tough. So, responsibility, man, is tough. It's tough. But yeah, again, credit to Poole for again, he's been great this season thus far. And Kuz hopefully finds his way. They get a day to kind of take in or flush this road trip. And then you got Detroit, like you said, a really big team coming here, and a team that's going to try to make them black and blue on the boards. Man, was that Duran, Stu? Just a big team that likes to hit people, man. So we're gonna see what that looks like on Sunday. Appreciate you guys. Go ahead.
Sar Thompson.
Right, and you just saw his brother. The Thompson motor family, like they up there, that motor runs crazy high. But again, man, we'll check in with y'all after Sunday. They'll be playing at home, and we'll see if they can get back on the right side of things against the Pistons. Because yeah, it was a tough road trip, very tough road trip. But still, many more to go this season.